Good morning, GMGM. Thank you, everybody here, for choosing to spend your time at our third inaugural NoirCon.
All right. Hello, everybody. Let's get this party started. Good morning, GMGM. Thank you, everybody here, for choosing to spend your time at our third inaugural NoirCon. Woo! I'm going to have some things to say about this because honestly, seeing this crowd, seeing the number of people here in the community, building with Noir, building amazing cool stuff in ZK, it is a dream come true, literally. From when we started this, we started Noir in 2020, 5 years ago, and to see it come this far is incredibly validating. So this is NoirCon, but I am as Zac Williamson, I am the co-founder of the Aztec Network. And so I have ulterior motives, and I'm a little biased. So I'm afraid this is going to be the 5 minutes, the equivalent of a 5-second YouTube advert, because Aztec has just launched. You know, Aztec and Noir were always designed to be highly complementary to each other. We are committed to creating and maintaining Noir as a public good. And we are also committed to using Noir as the canonical smart contract programming language for Aztec. It's been a long journey, but you know, who here doesn't know about Aztec? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, a couple of people. So I'll do the explanation then. So we're privacy-focused layer 2. We'll take like the smart contract ecosystem of Ethereum. You know, this incredible permissionless, fully composable environment where you can write an application, you know, it can handle some kind of financial product or service or reputation-based system, and anybody else in the ecosystem can in their application, they can plug your application into it. This is how we get incredible products like Uniswap, you know, like Aave, like MakerDAO, by having this kind of the seamless interoperability between projects that are just built by like random different people who aren't really coordinating with each other. But Ethereum, in my opinion, has a problem. I think that's widely acknowledged, which is the lack of privacy. And so we set out to solve this from first principles. We're like, okay, let's do Ethereum, but let's have private state as a first-class primitive inside smart contracts, where the data on-chain is encrypted, but you can write contracts that can query that state, can modify it, can put conditions on it, and it's all backed up by zero-knowledge proofs. We are currently doing a token sale. So I'm not the most comfortable person doing some shilling, but it is my statutory responsibility. Basically, our sale is now live. If you are a early user of Aztec or early community member, and the full public sale will be in December. So yeah, back to Noir and privacy. I think privacy is going to eat the world in the same way that from 2005 to 2015, software ate the world. What do we mean by this? Well, you go back to that time period, and you know, the web was slow, it was niche, it wasn't widely used, and if you were an organization or an institution, and you needed to do data processing, information processing, that was done in a very physical and manual way. You know, you had information in filing cabinets, or you had it in floppy disks, being like where you would be computing on these ancient old computers, or even maybe like an IBM mainframe in the basement of your company that you rented from IBM. And it worked, but it was very inefficient, and it was very slow. And then the internet came around, and you had this process where all this data moved into the cloud. And all this information processing that took mechanical work with hands and minds became automated. And we got massive efficiency savings from that. But there was a cost to that as well, which is that created the current world where we have these Web 2 titans that control huge data moats, not just for information processing, but they monetize that information. You know, when you use any web-based platform, any platform, it's going to be tracking you, taking your data about who you are, and it's going to consider it their property that they monetize. And I say that privacy is going to eat the world because what's going to happen, in my opinion, is that products and services are going to be built, hopefully by the people in this room, that provide the same kinds of value to users, but where the data and the information stays with the user, and it's not hosted centrally, and any information processing is done via zero-knowledge proofs, so that the core data can stay client-side, can stay protected, and you can use these distributed transaction ledgers as your settlements platform, as your exchange platform, as a source of liquidity, as a source of customers. And that's why I think privacy is going to eat the world. It is in many ways the ultimate fulfillment of the blockchain thesis from all those years ago, which I think has not come to pass because of the lack of privacy. So what does Noir in all of this? Well, we have a choice in Web3. We can live with the current world where pretty much everything is transparent and everybody can see everything, and that creates a warrantless financial surveillance dystopia. There's no doubt about it. You can ask anybody in this space, say anyone's seen it. You talk to Vitalik and you're like, hey, what's the future? If blockchain is massively used by everyone, but there's no privacy, is that a good future? He will say no. Well, he might say maybe, but lots of problems. This kind of surveillance panopticon is like a wet dream for an authoritarian leader or an authoritarian power structure. But they would lack the innovation, the innovativeness, the clarity of mind and purpose to build it. And so what's happened is all of these hackers, these outcasts, these cypherpunks and cyberpunks have ended up building surveillance technology, accidentally. And Noir is one of the tools we're going to use to fix that. It is a programming language designed around Rust that is private. It compiles not to machine code, but to zero-knowledge proofs, so that you can write a program where you have private information, hidden information, it's all encrypted, but you can still do data and logic on it. So we started Noir 5 years ago. Kev, who is the godfather of Noir, created the project. And in November 2020, I was browsing our version control, and I saw the first release, v0.0.1. Nowadays, you skip forward to November 2025, Noir is in its pre-release stage. It's effectively feature complete. We are currently putting it through audit so that we have something which is secure for the release of the Aztec Network. And we are intending for that process to be done soon, very soon. I wish I could give more clarity, but I don't want to make the Noir team nervous here. So just a little bit of a, hello? An example of how it started versus how's it going. This might be a little too small to read, but this is the first release of Noir, v0.0.1. It's called Errors. Noir used to be, it's a massive challenge to bootstrap a language from scratch like this. Compiling an idiomatic, clear, imperative programming language based on Rust into ZK proofs and it'd be fast, feature complete, it's a monumental challenge. But I think we've managed to pull it off, given the number of people using it. Not only is it like Rust, I would argue it has features that are better than Rust, like our metaprogramming and our incredible macro system. So how's it going today? Well, you've got products in the world using Noir, ZK Passport, for example, which we're going to hear from today, and their private face matching system. We're using it in Aztec to perform some very, very light checks on users so that America does not try to jail me. Sorry about that. And Pay is migrating its stack to Noir because it's just the canonical private language. That's what we designed it to be for our community. And now we have stateful Noir. Just like Node.js is the execution engine for JavaScript, Aztec is an execution engine for Noir. It's a transaction network where you can have persistent private state, persistent public state, and you can tap into it all with Noir, define your state transition functions in smart contracts. So we're going to hear a lot about that today in the Aztec room from 2 to 3. Learn to write a smart contract, be there. It's going to be exciting. But we have an absolutely crazy schedule. I couldn't imagine, 2 years ago, that not only would we be on our third Noir conference, but that we'd have 3 tracks of stuff to talk about. We have, oh God, I can't see a damn thing here. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, like, we've got a huge number of people from our ecosystem talking about the products that they're building, how to use Noir. We have people from the team talking about how to build like production-grade libraries, idiomatic Noir, how to write smart contracts, and we also have people from outside the direct Noir ecosystem, but very, very involved in privacy tech, talking about their experiences and what they're doing in this space, because it really is, it is an entire village. We're all pulling in the same direction here. So we have people from Zashi talking about how they managed to build their wallets, which was a fascinating challenge. So we've got a really action-packed schedule for you all. If you want to be part of the privacy revolution, this is the place to be. Everyone's saying, oh, it's privacy season. What does that mean? Well, you're going to find out today, here, what that really means. And when people say over the next 10 years, everything's going to be private, you're part of that first wave, right? The first train is leaving the station. And there is an ocean of opportunities out there because the design space of what you can do, not just in Web3, but in any kind of transaction or exchange-based system where counterparties don't or can't trust each other, and you need to perform logic validation over sensitive information, if you need to preserve information asymmetries, then this is the technology. This is the place to be to do all of that, and it's going to change the world. Finally, before I get off and we start talking about getting into the weeds of things, I want to thank Stella and Protocol Labs because they very kindly agreed to sponsor this event. Yeah, two incredible teams massively helping out the privacy ecosystem. So thank you very much. Let's go, LFG.